them out into outer darkness, and there shall be much weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. More casting out language. And that's a favorite passage. Many are called, few are chosen. It's no wonder a lot of this is very, very attractive, because the sayings incorporated are very beguiling. Again, I would note that the fact that the armies are going to come and take vengeance and so on and so forth is certainly, most would say, written after the fall of the temple. But you say, though, that's part of the prophesying. Now here we have some questions by the Jewish leaders. I got to move along here, and I'm not going to get where I wanted to get to the little apocalypse and the woes against the scribes and the Pharisees, but I'll just keep going. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Try to get through this material from my warped perspective. So in Matthew, they want to ensnare him. It's the Pharisees in Matthew, the Herodians in Mark, the Pharisees and the Herodians in Mark. And in Luke, it's the spies who want to do this, ensnare him or trap him into bad talk. And they said to him, their disciples, with the Herodians, so here the Herodians do pop up in Matthew 2. We know that you are true, the true prophet, and teach the way of God, the way terminology in Acts being a name for early Christianity, and also an important ideology in the community rule of the Dead Sea Scrolls, preparing a way in the wilderness. And they ask him the tribute question, should we pay Caesar the tribute, which is, of course, the burning issue from the time of Judas the Galilean in 7 AD to the present here, and supposedly around 30 AD. And they brought him a penny, and this is the famous one where he says, whose picture is on it? And they look on it, and it's Caesar's picture, so he says, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar, and unto God the things that are God. Again, very, very clever. But that can be taken several ways. Suppose you were here that you believe that nothing belonged to Caesar and everything belonged to God. Then that could be saying, don't pay any taxes. But in any case, it's normally taken as pay your taxes and so on and so forth. Again, I don't think the Jewish Messiah would advocate paying Roman taxes. But that's just me. I may be wrong. If he's a worldwide Messiah, not a Jewish Messiah, well, that's fair enough. Pay your Roman taxes. I wouldn't pay taxes to Nero if I could avoid it. I wouldn't pay taxes to Caligula. I wouldn't pay taxes to these depraved, disgusting, perverts. You want to pay taxes to those people? Be my guest. I don't think that was on in Palestine with popular Messianic leaders. I can't imagine it. Try to imagine that. Here we're under occupation by, we're in Mexico, we're under occupation by America, and a prophet comes and says, pay taxes to the Americans, to the Mexican people who are in a resistance mode mindset. How popular was that going to be for someone cleverly saying, these things? Maybe that's saving their skins and a good political advice, but I'm not sure it's a very popular position. Anyway, something else. And Paul issues this. Paul in Romans 13 says the same thing: pay taxes to Caesar. So again, I think we have Jesus Paul here, and Paul, is a Roman citizen. And so the Sadducees then are upset by this, and in Josephus, it's clear that this is probably taken from Josephus in the sense that Josephus makes a point that the Sadducees, his Sadducees, deny the resurrection. That's the difference between when he names the parties between the Sadducees and the Pharisees. So now you're going to hate me for saying this. When they come to him and try to trip him up on the question of the resurrection, the Pharisees do believe in the resurrection, the Sadducees don't, according to Josephus, and this is always the New Testament position, the writers having read their Josephus, I believe. They make up this other thing, and that, I think, comes from the Maccabee books. There are 7 brothers in the Maccabee books. How many read the Maccabee books? What is the parable of the 7 brothers in the Maccabee books?
They wouldn't eat before.
They wouldn't eat on pain of death. They're the first martyrs. Each one dies in turn. The mother encourages each of them to die because they're going to get their soul back and be resurrected. So it is the theme of resurrection, but resurrection as a theme encouraging martyrdom for your people and for God and for the holy law. It's a very inspiring episode, even though most of us probably don't believe it really occurred. But still, it's meant to inspire people to martyr themselves for the law and not break the law and so on and so forth. It's in Maccabees 2 Maccabees, chapter 7. This to me plays off that, the 7 brothers, and here the nonsense question is asked. Okay, if they're 7 brothers and you believe in the resurrection and one is married, and now we're being very clever because we know if he didn't have a son, his brother's supposed to marry him. So we're playing off the Levirate marriage theme and lots of other clever things here, which I think is written to belittle these things from someone overseas, and it's not Jesus, but you decide if it's Jesus. In any case, the wife died, the second took her, so they're laughing at this Levirate marriage where the brother is supposed to raise up seed unto his brother, and making a total mockery out of that holy moment in the Maccabees 2 book, where the mother encouraged each brother in turn to martyr themselves. And that, by the way, is echoed in an episode in Josephus, when the Roman armies and Vespasian are making their way down, or is it Herod? I guess it's Herod, are making their way down from Galilee, and he meets the people, the resistance fighters in caves, and they refuse to give in to him. And Josephus pictures Herod as going, or is it, I can't remember if it's Herod or if it's Vespasian. I think it's probably Vespasian. In any case, or Titus, going out and praying, begging them, give up, we don't want to kill you. And there are 7 brothers there, and the father encourages each of the brothers to jump off the cliff and turn rather than surrender to the Romans. To me, this plays off both of those episodes and belittles them. Oh, okay, you stupid Jews. You know, how about your dumb Levirate marriage idea? You're talking about resurrection and getting your soul back and being, inspired by giving your life for the law and so on, and 7 brothers. Suppose one was married to a woman and the next married, next married, next married. Who would have the wife in heaven, since you believe in resurrection of the dead? That, I think, is what is behind here. I see this as a mocking episode of very holy passages in Jewish literature from this period. You probably wouldn't see it like that. But in any case, Jesus uses it to go